Today, futures on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the NASDAQ Composite Index, and the S&P 500 are rising. Apple stock is adding gains. The US dollar is extending losses against the euro and the yen. Besides, the US dollar index has reached its lowest level since 2018. The Fed is expected to continue to keep its benchmark rate near zero in the long term. That's certainly bearish for the US dollar. Judging by the dynamics in the New York session, futures on the major U.S. stock indices are climbing up ahead of important economic data from the U.S. market, as well as quarterly earnings reports. In intraday trading, futures on the Dow Jones Industrial Average were up 0.03% to 28,425 points. The NASDAQ High-Tech Index added 0.98% to 12,232.25, and futures on the S&P 500 rose by 0.3% to 3,509.98 points. Traders are waiting for the U.S. manufacturing PMI data from the American Institute for Supply Management for August. Notably, most investors are expecting upbeat results. Experts believe that the reading is likely to grow to 54.5% compared to 54.2% in July. If so, it will signal a gradual recovery in the U.S. economy. Investors also took notice of media reports saying that U.S. tech giant Apple asked suppliers to make at least 75 million 5G iPhones. The company's shares have already grown by 2.2%. At midday, the euro-dollar pair rose to 1.1980 from the previous closing price of 1.1936. Earlier during the trading session, the euro reached 1.1997, its strongest level since May 2018. The US dollar lost ground to 105.75 against the yen from its previous closing level of 105.89. The US dollar index fell by 0.32% to 91.86 pips. Early in the trading session, the index hit 91.75, its lowest level since April 2018. Last week, the U.S. Federal Reserve announced that the regulator would tolerate a period of higher prices and focus more on an average inflation rate in the long term. This news continues to exert some downward pressure on the greenback, dragging it down. The market participants believe that the Fed sets stage for the longer periods of extremely low interest rates. According to Reuters, ING analysts do not expect an immediate response from the ECB and assume that the uptrend in the euro-dollar pair will continue. That's all for now. Thank you for watching and see you back tomorrow.